What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. I talked about it a few weeks ago, but it's come up again. Gordie Howe has suffered a major stroke, and his health is taking a turn for the worse. And I've seen the Keith Olbermann story 1,000 times. I watched the thing he did tonight on ESPN. I was moved to tears. And whatever your opinions of ESPN Olbermann are, you got to look it up. The story is amazing. I heard it, 6, 7 years ago. Olbermann told it. And it's just one of the all-time great. Why hockey is the best sport in the world, and it's not only the game itself, but it's the people that comprise the game. And Gordie Howe is one of the good ones. I hope he somehow some way pulls through and can live another 86 years. But the impact he had on the game. I mean, this guy played in the NHL when he was 51 years old. I mean, he was one of the all-time greatest players to ever put on a pair of skates. I mean, I think it's funny, he began his NHL career before Bobby Orr was born, and retired, was still playing after Orr retired. Now, I know Orr was forced to an early retirement and all that, but it's still mind-boggling to think about just how long this guy played. Obviously, going to the WHA, which was not by any means a popular move at the time. And, being able to play with his sons in Houston and later on Hartford, and, just be the prototypical power forward. I mean, I think in the history of the game, I'd say him, Gretzky, and Bobby Orr are the three biggest impacts. And he was the best player in the history of the NHL pre-expansion, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, he was essentially Wayne Gretzky with Cam Haley's tenacity. I mean, it's no way to describe him. I talk about his on the ice productivity, but I think one thing that gets lost in the shuffle with today's generation, I think it shows with hockey players. So I'm not going to accuse people of being disrespectful. That's not the thing. And Theo Fleury did this in an interview about 2 months ago with ESPN on ESPN.com. But the players say don't have a level of understanding and history of the game like the players in previous generations did. And I think that's a byproduct of today's society. That's how they handle that. But guys like him and going back further, Maurice Richard and Eddie Shore, Johnny Bob, these guys that helped make up the NHL for a number of years in the original six era. Going back even further with all the way to the foundations of the league, establishing the game, establishing the league, it's guys like that helped Howe come along. Howe lit it up and was one of the greatest players of all time, and then that opened the door for expansion. And then from there, Gretzky. From there, the game we have today. And looking back on the impact he had on the game, the world and the game of hockey are better places because Gordie Howe was a part of it. And that's just the God's honest truth. He's in a it looks like he's gonna be in hospice. I don't know the specific details. I read a lot about him, and I just think his impact on the game is second to none. I mean, how many players start playing in the 1940s and retire in 1980? It's just like, wow. Holy shit, wow. And, I wish somehow, some way he pulls through this because, again, we need him. We needed people like him to get the game to where it is. And, while talking with Gordie Howe, the hockey player, it's important to talk with Gordie Howe, the person. And the Keith Olbermann story about, how he not only was he great with Olbermann when Keith was a kid, but later on in life when Olbermann was on SportsCenter, they did that commercial, and I asked him about it. He remembered every detail of it. It was like this guy was superhuman, and he's hopefully somehow some way can still be because I know he's 86, he's had a great life, but I don't want to see him go yet. Or he just his impact on everything about the game and through that the fans of the game, the people that make up the game, so really up there at the top of the line. And again, I think it's going back to what I said originally. Hockey, we love the game, we love everything, the checks, the goals, but all those come second to the people that make it up. And having the class and integrity to be lifelong ambassadors of the game is something that Howe and his wife Colleen for a long time embraced. He was Mr. Hockey. She was Mrs. Hockey. I mean that's you don't get much further involved in the game than that, and that speaks volumes. So anyway, hope thoughts and prayers with Gordie Howe and his family. But whatever happens, he's got a place in my heart for being one of the great players of all time and being someone that helped shape the league into what it is today. Anyway, that's our next episode of the Power Play with CJ. All the best to Gordie Howe. Stay tuned for episodes for the season and beyond. Later, guys.